Hello everyone, or no one, and welcome to Delo Gaming. I'm a bad gamer, and I played Fable, the Anniversary Edition, and I found this. This game can be described with 3 words: weird, unique, and very British. So I decided to test out the game Fable. I was looking for an adventure game, and this was a very random choice of a game. I never played or heard anything of the Fable games. Apparently there are several in this series. But it's fun to test out new things, so here are the 4 things I learned playing Fable Anniversary Edition. Number 1. It's weird. So, one of the first things you get to do in this game is that you get to discover a cheating husband that's having some fun with a girl behind the house. And then you can go and tell on him to his wife. And then you can watch her slapping him around. Moments later, you're faced with a bully that you have the option to fart on so that he runs away. The game is full of weird gimmicks like this, like farting, burping. You can flirt with people, you can buy houses, you can get a wife, you can get several wives if you want. You can become a cruel but rich landlord that earns money from renting out houses that you either got legally or you murdered everybody inside and took it for yourself. It's a weird and unique special little world they have created here, and I'm pretty sure if I played this game when I was 12 years old, I would think this was a super fun game. Number 2. The story. The story of this game, I think at least, has a lot of references to old folktales and legendary myths, like swords in stone and things like that. In short, the story is about your family getting murdered in an attack on the village you live in. After that incident, a random dude just randomly shows up and basically kidnaps you and orders you that you will go down the path of revenge, and he will train you for this. And you have absolutely no choice in this, you're just going down the path of revenge, at least according to this dude. After you have grown up and your training is complete, you get to go around in the world and do tasks and become the hero of this world. At some point you discover that your sister is alive and she got some really cool stuff to tell you, and it turns out she is quite a badass. Your mother is also alive apparently, and she was an ancient hero of this world that teaches you new things. The mother eventually dies in the hands of the villain of this game, and then you have to chase him and take him out, which of course you do. In the DLCs, it turns out that the villain from the main game is still somewhat alive and pulling strings of bad things, and you as the hero have to go and fix these things and defeat him again. Story-wise, I think it's a fun and chill little game, with loads of side quests that develops the world, or you can just do the main story quest that doesn't really take that long to complete, somewhat around 12 to 14 hours. It's a nice and fun little story, but I wish I got to know more about his sister, if that's allowed to say. The best thing in this game, I think, is that you can kinda sort of make your own little story in the game. For example, as I already said, that you can have several wives, you can be a rich landlord, you can be a good guy, or you can be an evil guy, and you can like build your own reputation in this world, which is kinda cool. Number 3. The combat. You can choose or mix among different paths. One path is being a badass warrior that swings swords, or use a bow and arrow, or being a mage that casts spells. You can also mix these abilities together and make your own playstyle. I picked being a big strong melee dude with a sword. That might have been a mistake. I didn't like the melee combat in this game. It feels like if turn-based combat and dynamic combat had a baby, you would end up with this. After you've finished a melee combo, you knock the enemy down, and when the enemy is knocked down, you can't attack them anymore. You have to wait until they stand up before you can do damage to them again, and that was really annoying. This made the fight take way longer than it needed to, and it made it feel less dynamic. I also made the mistake of playing with a mouse and keyboard in the beginning, and that was horrible, so switch to controller ASAP. It will be much better. Playing with a bow and arrow or using spells makes the combat feel a little bit better, because you don't knock the enemy down in the same way as a melee combat. But using a bow and arrow feels a little bit slow, and using spells can be pretty mana hungry, but it felt better. There is a couple of big bosses in the game, and I think the last boss of the main game was horrible. It's dodging, run to the left, fire one arrow, then dodge, then run to the left, and run more to the left, then fire one arrow, then dodge, then fire, then run to the left, and fire one arrow, and repeat. At least that's how I defeated it, and I had an awful time doing that. The last boss in the DLC was way cooler. A big fire-spitting dragon that it was a bit more obvious what he was going to do, but he just fell over a bit too fast. Number 4. Unique. The game has a style of its own, with very British humor and some very strange mechanics I've never seen before, like doing escort quests. You have voice commands that you have to say to the NPC that you're protecting what they are supposed to do. Either they are going to follow you, stop, stand still, or whatever. I also think that some of your choices in the game afflict the outcome of the game. So you can be like a good guy if you do good deeds, and you can become an evil guy if you do evil deeds, which makes the game more fun to replay, which is a good thing. So these were the 4 things I learned playing Fable. It was fun to test it out. I'm sure if I played this game when I was 12 years old, it would be way more fun and I would be way more hooked on the game than that I am right now. I didn't like the combat style that much, but I liked the world, and I think that you can kind of sort of create your own little story in the game, and you have a lot of options on how you want to play that story and how you want to develop your character. That can be very, very fun. But do I want to test out other Fable games in the series? Nah, not right now. I might check out the new Fable game that comes out in 2025 or 26 to see how this type of game is in a more modern game style. That might be interesting, but for now I will leave you with the wise words of wisdom from the Steam reviews, and I bid you farewell. Any game where you can fart, solicit a prostitute, commit mass murder, give small children nightmares with the books you give them, practice being a landlord, and get a stylish mustache is worth the purchase. Fun writing, garbage combat, overall enjoyable and worth a playthrough, but more importantly, Fable 2 Remaster when? The camera makes me feel like I'm playing this game in the back of a pickup truck driving through the Appalachian Mountains. I really wanted to like this game, I really did. I'm very split. I know the game is good, I played it before, I know I loved it. You can hit British people. Once a chicken chaser, always a chicken chaser. Childhood nostalgia, still a good game. You can kick chickens in HD. Amazing game.